Welcome back. Welcome back to the morning show here on Tobago Updates Television. And thank you so much for staying with us. In studio this morning, we speak with Mr. Dexter Sandy, and he is the iconic band leader as well as the president of the Tobago October Carnival Association. And this morning, we're talking about the budget review this morning. Good morning, Mr. Sandy, and welcome.
Good morning, Adanna. Good morning, Akinlabi, and good morning to all your viewers.
Right.
Morning.
So we had the budget presentation yesterday, and we know everybody looking for their piece of the pie in terms of how is the allocation going to affect their industry, their craft, their talent, what they are looking for, their interest. And so we want to have the conversation this morning in terms of holistically the budget, and of course directly at tourism and how it plays a role in the October Carnival. So I don't know if you have a little overview that you want to give in terms of your interpretation of the budget.
Well, definitely yesterday I wasn't fortunate to look at the live presentation, but I've been able to look at some of the key highlights. And I mean, a budget is something that really is a plan, right? That over a period of time we intend to expense and provide services or do different things that we have on our checklist, right? And in this budget presentation yesterday, based on the highlights, I saw that there was the tourism and creative sector. The ask there was 450 million. I don't have the comparative data for last year, but the figure, for all intents and purposes, I know the secretary would have done her due diligence to come up with that figure. So it's very encouraging to see that it's highlighted as one of the 6 key areas, the 6 key sectors that the T.H.A is now looking to focus on for the new year. I would say for Carnival, on a whole, we really need to put emphasis behind the product. Yes, the Carnival is in its 4th year, and I make the analogy of a child. As an infant, a child is basically on a liquid diet. But as it gets older, it now consumes liquids and solids. And I think now is the time that we need to prepare for the Carnival, having the solids as a part of the diet. We need to put a little more into it. I'm not going to assign a specific figure, but it's very key that we invest a lot more behind the Carnival. The Carnival, from inception, we saw the results. We saw what it did for tourism. We saw where the bed and breakfast, the car rentals, the tour guides, those guys at the reef boats, everybody benefits, as well as the mass bands, what we're able to produce and put on the road. We've seen where it has really helped to grow the economy just for that short period of time. So we really need to make the moves, spend the money in the right areas to now make the Carnival not just a product, but a sustainable product. You know.
And in terms of, investing in the Carnival, ensuring that it remains a sustainable product, what are some of the areas that you think the allocation can be spent? Because sometimes, after the fact you hear, of course, you have to do your assessment. So after the fact you hear, we should have done this, we could have done this, and why didn't you all do this? Or you might hear somebody complaining about something, things that worked, things that could have worked better, and things that could have been implemented that were not even considered. What are some of the areas you have observed can receive some more investments?
Well, definitely, I would say that the Carnival itself needs its own management team or leadership team. Over the past 3 years, it has come under Festivals Commission, which is responsible for all festivals on the island. And they have a calendar of events, and they've been trying their best. But the Carnival needs its own team, its own entity that will properly plan to execute not only just one weekend of activities, but an entire month. And to be able to execute that and plan for that, we need an independent body that will be working on this thing year round, right? That is something that is key to the sustainability of the Carnival, besides investing more funding into it. And I mean, the island as well, we need to prepare for the Carnival. A lot of persons are saying, well, the majority of persons on the island here don't participate in Carnival, but it does not mean that they can't benefit from Carnival. We have seen at Carnival time, National Carnival, where a lot of camps happen in Tobago. So you know what? If all the partying and stuff is central to Scarborough, then other communities could now prepare to host some of these same groups that don't wish to participate in the Carnival for like a 3-day camp, the Friday, Saturday, Sunday. have them outside there. So those communities and the economic system within those communities can now benefit, right? But I must say, in terms of the sustainability, we really need to develop an entity that will focus on Carnival for an entire year, mapping out what needs to be done. I mean, right now, we don't even have a formal band launch in sight for the festival, not as far as I am aware of, right? And if an entity was put in place, I'm pretty certain we would have had that done at the very start of May, right? Because that would be enough time to now go to market with the product and let persons know that, listen, this is what they can expect for Tobago Carnival. But I must say, kudos to all the bands so far that would have done their part. I think I have a list in here. Casato Promotions, MVP Mass, Jade Monkey Mass, Blush Carnival. Those 4 entities have already put forward their 2025 productions. I'm really proud of them. There are others who right now are still working on theirs. I know Iconic Mass, Fog Angels. Those some of the larger bands have been behind the scenes working on prototypes. Some have even done their photo shoots. So we'll come into market very soon, within the next 2 weeks or so, with regards to the launch of those particular products. But the Tobago Carnival can be so much more for the island. And I mean, the budget is really just a part of it that really gets us prepared for that season.
So, Mr. Sandy, you mentioned a couple of things and I want to delve more into it. You stated that the Carnival is going into its 40 and it's time for it to get some more solid food,
Yeah.
right? And that you're speaking not figuratively, yes.
Yeah.
So, and you also spoke about a separate entity. So you're talking about something similar to the National Carnival Commission, perhaps a Tobago Carnival Commission of a sort, right? If created, what can the Tobago Carnival Commission do in terms of elements of the carnival to improve it that are missing now?
Yeah. Well, definitely that entity would be charged with the responsibility, one, of marketing Tobago Carnival as a destination. The feedback that we have gotten for the last 2 years is that Miami Carnival, which is in October, which is 2 weeks before Tobago, is losing its sting. And we need to take advantage of that. And taking advantage of that is not 2 to 3 weeks before the execution of a carnival. It's literally 12 months before, the year before, right? And I would say that an entity of that nature would be able or should be able to now start marketing the destination. Why Tobago is one of the better options, or probably the best option when it comes to Carnival. It's a safe carnival that we have executed for the last 3 years, proven. We are very affordable, right, in comparison to other carnivals throughout the region. In terms of the route, it's the most scenic, right? The route takes part on the highway and along a stretch, a body of water. That is a magnificent view for any masquerader. When you're going down that stretch on Milford Road here, Calypso Rose Boulevard, right? And that wind hits you. It's a different feeling. You don't get that anywhere else in the road. Miami, you're going around in circles in an indoor stadium, right? There are so many different things that are happening for us, and I think an entity that is primarily focused on the carnival will be able to get things done. Yesterday I was coming through Piaco, chatting with a businessman, and he was saying to me, how come you all don't have a stage? Right? This is your 4th carnival. I said, yes. How come you all don't have a stage? And I mean, it's something that I've been clamoring for. We all have been clamoring for. But just to hear this person say that to me again was refreshing. That there are persons looking on at the product and they're saying to us that, we need to lift the game. Right? So again, a special purpose entity geared towards carnival would really be able to check some of these boxes and put things in place for us to elevate what we have done for the last 3 years.
Also concerning private involvement, private sector involvement in the carnival, how much more of a contribution or how much more involvement would you like to see the private sector in terms of sponsorship and financing some of these developments that we want to take place?
Well, I would definitely say their role is very important because the product of Carnival is not just mass bands on the road. The bed and breakfast, the hoteliers, the villa rentals, I would say those persons really have to get prepared. Through the budget, I know that the Secretary in coming up will kind of roll out how the funding is going to go, because I know that they do have the loan guarantee program. I've been hearing about it. It would be for some of these entities to tap into it. Prepare your business space for the influx of people. That is part of preparation for Carnival as well. It's not just putting the beads and feathers on the road. The guys with the car rentals, I know last year, Massey said to me that they had to bring up additional vehicles from Trinidad to add to their fleet, of course, that they rent and offer to the public. And I know that I chat a lot with the guys down at the airport in the car rental lot. They do get booming business during that weekend. So all I'm saying, we as Tobago, we need to prepare our individual businesses to earn something from the Carnival and benefit. And once we all are involved, I think Tobago will do well for a Carnival of its own.
You know, I like the idea or the thought, or at least the conversation has been had amongst the Tobago October Carnival Association committee or group or association rather, it's an association, about having an independent body to focus primarily and specifically to the Carnival, because I feel this event, though I am not a Carnival person by any means at all, in fact I'm a church girl, I'm a Christian, I love Jesus Christ, but the event, the festival itself, it does something for the island of Tobago in terms of the economy of Tobago, the economics. And if you really want to ensure that you can benefit from it, you really need to have somebody who is focused. That is your focus, your 9 to 5, your 8 to 4, you know, and not just as you mentioned, I know Tobago Festivals Commission is doing a lot in terms of managing festivals, and they're doing an amazing job, in fact, hosting events. But for this specific event, for it to really be maximize the potential, I want to agree with you on that. And I'm hoping that, you know, the powers that be will really see the importance of having something like that. For me, marketing is very, very important. Tobago October Carnival should be all over by now. We're heading to July, right? And the event is 3 months away. 3 or 4 months away, and we should be seeing something happening, you know. So I'm hoping that, you know, you can get that kind of support that you're looking for. And not just that, there are some things that you mentioned as well that a lot of people don't focus on, is the preparedness. Instead of looking for the financial support that comes from whichever organization, whether it's a government agency or corporate sponsor, how about I invest in my business to ensure that I too can benefit? We want to have Tobago prepared. Dexter, what do you think about, I know you talk about the scenery and the route and all like that, the safety, we've had safe carnivals. What do you think about in terms of we talk about the roads, we want to talk about our roads, right? And sometimes it's not the best surfaces. What do you think that any kind of heavy investment should be put in that as well to ensure, I mean, you don't want to jump on and twist your ankle somewhere.
Well, one thing I must commend the organization for, through the chairman, Mr. Cowan, last year since he came in, and even prior to him, Collis Hazel, ECP, would have called a full operational team, which involved the division of infrastructure, fire service, police, you name it, team, everybody was there. And part of the purpose of that team and in prepping for Carnival would have been to examine some of those same roads that you spoke about. And over the years, I must say, Atiba Martin, he would have been responsible for that. And he would have really answered the call. 1 year we had a little hole in front by Port Mall. Unfortunately, a masquerader did sprain their ankle there. But by the next time, that was removed. It's no longer there. And we would have placed a lot of focus on the route to make sure not only safety is there for the masqueraders, but also for the equipment that we're passing on it, the music trucks, the drink trucks, the service vehicles. So that to ensure that there's no element of risk really that somebody could be hurt. And I mean, so far the route has maintained. I haven't seen any potholes, any repairs to water lines or so on the route. I mean, I've been examining the route quite frequently. But I know that we just need to put things in place, taking into account what will happen during that period, and be proactive in preparation.
And this is what I wanted to hear, the intentionality, and you mentioned it there, and that's what I was trying to get from you, the intentionality in terms of you observe the routes, the risk analysis that is being done in preparation, and all of these things that people kind of take for granted. Participants, they take that for granted that we have a show and we're going to go on the road. So I really wanted you to bring out that intentionality, that there are teams. I know for certain the risk analysis is done and all of those things are done. So I wanted to bring that to the fore. And I'm happy that you mentioned that, let's hope for the best. It's a good product. It has done well over the past years, and there's potential for it to be greater. So let's hope that not just the budget, but just the Tobago population in general, we kind of see the opportunity that we have ahead of us, and we kind of work together to ensure it happens. Akinlabi?
Well, I know you would have come here, you want to say a little bit about Iconic Mass. So tell us about Iconic Mass, Mr. Sandy.
Well, definitely the band Iconic Mass, we are so excited for the 4th edition. I mean, we've been here from year 1, and I've really seen the growth of the band, the brand. I've seen the growth of the Carnival, and we're really proud to continue to be a part of it. For those who follow us on social media, you would have seen that we would have put out our theme already, Tropical Bliss. And as it is right now, we have our prototypes in hand. A lot of people are messaging, calling, send a picture of the costume now. I want to see something. But we prefer to put out the full compilation all at once. That's going to be happening within the next 2.5 weeks at most, because we still have our photo shoot and stuff to get done. But once that is done, we're going to present it to the market. A bit late, yes, I would admit, because there are a lot of moving parts in preparation for Carnival. And I mean, as you grow, you also learn.
Yes.
But definitely we are almost ready. We are about 90% there. And soon it will be hitting the market, hitting our social media, hitting Tobago updates, right, with what we have to offer for the Carnival season. So Iconic Mass. Just stay tuned, check out our Instagram, iconic_mass, or even on Facebook, iconic_mass.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Mr. Sandy, for joining us this morning and going through the budget review with us, and of course talking about the Tobago October Carnival and your position, ensuring that the festival comes off quite successfully. Ladies and gentlemen, we have to go for a short break before we continue conversations in studio, and as we go, we invite you to help us. Share the live, share the live, share the live. We'll be right back.